welcome back. Last time you left me, I was finishing off pencils and a bit of inking as well. So I've finished most of that now, I say I finished most of it. I finished it. I've finished the final iteration of the illustration that I was hoping to do, and that should be on screen now. So looking at that, just thought I'd start off with a basic version of where I was. This is just the illustration with no background, autumnal colours all the way through, and a line cleanup in Illustrator. I actually populated the background with the next image, which is just a series of illustrations of flowers based on all different types of reference and influence, trying to keep all the colours relative to what I was doing. I actually changed those purple ones much later for a lighter shade. And then the final composition of the piece, so using some of those flowers to do the more textile style things on the dress itself, decorate the background. As you can see at the top, the colours of those flowers have changed to an orangey hue now. And really just trying to get some sort of symmetry going on with the background to give it more of a decorative look. It's different to what I'd imagined it would have been, but I'm happy with the final results, and you can see that over on my Instagram or up on my website now, and hopefully I can do a few more using this technique, but as I said, probably going to move on to something like watercolour with the next iteration. So yeah. So that's a rough breakdown of the illustration. I'm happy with the final piece. I think it's a bit different to how I'd imagined it was going to develop, but I feel like it was necessary to do so, and actually I'm happy that I've gone through those pain barriers again, just so that I can finish up with something that I feel like I've sort of developed as I've gone on. I think I would probably have spent a bit longer concepting. I think the final image is quite strong, but I think I probably have done a little bit more time sketching and having a bit more fun. I kind of felt like I went straight to it with the illustration, trying to take it through to a final piece quite quickly, and I'm probably guilty of doing that anyway with my illustrations, because once I've got an idea that I like, I stick to it, and that's how I develop the work. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but that's certainly my my sort of way of dealing with work. Moving on, I suppose, is the next thing I need to do. I'm going to pick one of the many quotes that I wrote down right at the beginning. Correction that I've got on the illustration that I've done, funnily enough. I think in one of the earlier videos I named the girl Ginny, and I, for some unknown reason, just got confused between her and Carrie in conversation in that piece, so correction on my part. That girl that I've illustrated, her name is Carrie and not Ginny, so that's that cleared up. Very boring. I think that's been really nice to document the workflow and show off some of the techniques that I've used. Hopefully in the breakdown that I've just talked about, I've given you a little bit more insight as to what I've done and how those pieces have worked. I'm obviously open to questions and any criticisms and comments you'd like to put at the bottom. Likewise, if you go on my website and find my email address on that subject, I would encourage you to go and look at some of the stuff that I've done previously on my website. I think I sort of decided today that over the next few days I'll post some of my older work up on Instagram, which I was putting off because the Instagram I'd done was sort of really documenting my workflow more recently, but I think for context purposes it'd be quite good for me to put some artwork on on my Instagram as well, so I'll probably do that too. I'm just gonna keep going, and I'm gonna do some more drawings, do some more sketching. I've hooked on my GoPro now, so I can video the sketches a little bit easier. Although the quality's not probably as good as my iPhone. So I sort of went through the breakdown earlier, but I just want to go back to something that I talked about in one of the earlier videos, and I want to really make this clear. all of the work that you see in the blog so far has been hand-drawn, hand-inked, and then photographed using my iPhone 8 Plus. Now, I realise that that's a high-end iPhone at the moment, and I say at the moment because if this is old, then it's not. But right now, that is it's one of the better cameras out there. Good camera quality, good processors. So what I did with Carrie is I shot Carrie in 3 sections and then pinned that all back together using Photoshop as closely as I can. Any sort of deviation you have on your camera at that stage is going to throw those lines out, but you can deal with it. You don't have to worry about that. And my point with that is you can use the tools that you have around you whenever you like. You don't have to invest in a 600 DPI scanner or any sort of fancy kit, really. I know a phone could be considered fancy kit, but you've got that anyway. So I would encourage people to try and go down the route that I've produced this using. And by that I mean take a picture, do your work in Photoshop, get a clean picture, do it in daylight outside, no shadows, no harsh lighting at all, just a nice clear image with no colouring, so no lamps like these yellow ones. You want real like bright whites. Get a good picture, get it in Photoshop, take the levels down, convert it to grayscale, wipe out any noise in that image, paint it back in, whatever you've got to do, and then take that into Illustrator and either redraw it or live trace it. I'm guilty of live tracing. Do I think there's a problem with that? Not really. I think it's whatever method you choose to create your artwork and the steps you put it through. Post that. I think you can download CS2 now, Legacy, for free. So I would go and have a look around on the Adobe website. We'll do some Googling and see what you can find, because that's a good avenue to go down as well. So anyway, it's just finishing. So in the page around me now, we should have a subscribe button somewhere and some other episodes. Please watch the episodes if you haven't seen anything before this one. If you have, press subscribe and you'll see the next installments of this. I'm going to keep updating my Instagram. I should be sketching all the time. I'm planning to update that. I'm going to be putting older work on to show what I've done. So if you're interested from that point of view, please watch it. Anyway, thank you very much, and I'll catch you all soon.